Yeah.
What's up, everybody? We back.
We back.
What up, Max?
Right on time.
What up, Av?
Blessings, baby, blessings. Happy New Year to everybody.
What up, Professor?
What's going on? I don't know why you leaning into the mic like it's not picking up your voice from where.
Welcome to Coffee for Your Soul, y'all. We back live.
We back. Episode 1 of season 2, Coffee for Your Soul is back. My brothers and I, we're gonna get back into it. We've had a vacation. We came back refreshed, and a lot of stuff has happened. So we're gonna get right into it. So we're gonna talk about some things. So, Av, what you been up to for the last month and a half, brother?
And I've been dealing with patent filings and patent papers and product development and just a bunch of good stuff, man. Good stuff. A lot of stressful, but it's good stress. You know what I'm saying? A labor of love. We would call it a labor of love. Anytime y'all know, anytime you're doing something that's independent and on your own vibe, your own creative process, trying to be your own boss, then you're gonna have to put in that groundwork. But it is a level, like I said, a labor of love. So yeah, man, just working on this patent stuff, seeing what the new year is gonna bring. We here, we breathing, we healthy, so one love. We good.
Mm-hmm. Professor, what you been up to the last month and a half, brother?
So similar to Dimitri, before we get into all that detail of what I've been doing, the question that every black person that went to an HBCU wants to know is, what band was that? Because Southern University be claiming a lot of that their band is the tightest, and then North Carolina State, NC State, or they be claiming that their band is the best, and then you got these other ones, FAMU, claiming that their band is the best. So the question is, what band were you playing for Can You Feel It, before I tell you what I was doing for the last month?
That's from Drumline. So it was the Drumline, brother. So I utilized that.
You took it straight out the movie, huh? And you didn't do no kind of research.
But I give it to you. It was leveraged from Southern. It was leveraged from Clark, Atlanta, and everything up there. But I know It wasn't FAMU. But FAMU did have a piece of that in one of the scenes. So it was a blend of everything. So
don't get bit by them rappers now.
For the last month and a half, I've been on the same journey as Dimitri. Not even that long, but long story short, just fully pledged all of my time into my own business and company. Thus that whiteboard in the back with all that information on it. You know what I mean? And just formulating a thing to make sure that we have easier ways to building wealth and getting home ownership. So that's what I'm working on myself.
Bless up, King.
Black Maxim, what you been up to, brother, for the last month and a half, man?
Man, I don't know, man. Just watching things, trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, a dime out of a nickel. But yeah, very, very much reflecting what my brothers are doing. 2021, by happenstance, circumstance, hook or crook, trying to be that entrepreneur nigga and get it done. Starting enterprises and labors of love. Basically, going to be leaving the organization I've been with for a long time to pursue my own, career path independently. So it's daunting, but it's been challenging, but very enriching at the same time. And it's always nice to experience new things, especially when you're only 25 years old, young like me. So
yeah, congratulations on that, man. Because I know who you with. I was with them first.
Oh yeah, you know what? You ain't never lie, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I've done my part for King and Country. Time to move on and do for myself. But yeah, man, everything's blessed. Raising these babies, trying to make sure that keeping my eye on the prize and make sure that we're all very aware we're back.
And that's what's up. I said, it's good to see everybody. Last month and a half, we got a chance to take a deep breath and breathe a little bit. And it was we were trying to pick up everybody to make sure they get out and vote, and they've done that. From a family perspective, everybody's been tight. I like to hear that. The kids are eating me out of house at home, so you already know how that is. You know what I'm saying? But I think right now we at a point right now that they calling us back. And then because the voice needs to be heard, and we brought everybody together. One thing I can say is that I heard people, when you guys coming back for season 2? When you guys coming back for season 2? Shout out to Libby. I appreciate that love, and I think that, from that point, to make sure that we having these conversations that are meant to be had, we try to bring everybody together so we have that opportunity to share that information and the knowledge that we can. And from Kobla's perspective, Av's perspective, Max's perspective, we all in this together, right? And that's what we try to do. Big up to the community, try to get out there and do our part. And in that process, we went through the election and we came back, and then Georgia did their job as we hoped they would have. They got out and voted. 2 people are in the Senate to take over the Senate, and that's a beautiful thing. I was, Max, what did you feel that morning when you woke up and everybody voted and the answer was there? What you feel that night of, actually?
We're gonna have some pissed off Trump supporters pretty soon. I wonder what they're gonna do. No, I didn't think that, did I? Yeah, I've been thinking that. No, actually, it was. I tell you what, it was very encouraging. It was very actually surreal, because Georgia being, of course, you got to think about it historically. Yeah, you got the chocolate city of Atlanta, but it's surrounded by a sea of red. This is the home of the Confederacy, capital of the Confederacy. Okay, this is historically a place where, hell, man, some of these trees I'm looking at the park that are so pretty, as I'm sitting, I'm like, they might have had some strange fruit hanging on them. This is a place where, you have the KKK was their second iteration, was basically founded on Stone Mountain, where I like to go walking every now and then. So this is a state that is very conflicted. The fact that it was in play as no one expected. I think the elephant in the room, no pun intended, because it was more like the donkey in the room, with Stacey Abrams, almost a blessing in disguise of her not getting the governorship and being able to focus and mobilize so much of the Atlanta and just Georgia in general, electorate to go out and vote. That's major. Sometimes we feel like our vote doesn't count because, you're voting Democrat in New York or you're voting Republican in Texas, you kind of get washed. It's expected. That state's not flipping. Like if you're from Florida, who can never get it right. But anyway, to be in a state where you knew your vote counted, to see, in all of this tumultuousness, first black senator, young Jewish American boy, like, I love that shit. I love it because it's pissing off the right people. Get pissed off. If you're pissed off about that, you may have some issue you need to talk to your therapist about. Something you may be bearing deep down. That's a celebration. That's beautiful. That shows, once again, you can't turn back the clocks of time, man. You can't change the fact that multiculturalism and us as a broad fabric of many woven colors and creeds, that's what makes this country the shining, city on the hill, to as it's stated. So yeah, Georgia was big this year. It basically changed everything. And here we are. here we are. So there's a lot left to do. And once again, I consider myself a nice in the middle guy because these Democrats, I think I'm getting some feedback from somebody. But yeah, these Democrats got to be held to as much account as we were looking at these Republicans, because politics is politics and money rules everything. Citizens United is still out there. Dark money is out there. There's lobbyists for these blue guys as much as the red. So we still got work to do.
So Max, before we jump in, Max, you want to share with our viewers what our new schedule is going to be, brother?
Our new schedule on the show?
Yes, sir.
Well, we figured you guys just, got just a little bit too much coffee for your soul. We didn't want you to be too caffeinated. People got to sleep every now and then. So this year, Coffee for Your Soul, we're going to be doing a bi-monthly schedule. So we're going to be coming on twice a month. We are doing that because we definitely are trying to really delve into new topics and subjects. Want to give them the right amount of research, and figure there'll be even enough more fodder when the show does come on. So give everyone the time to live their lives too. We appreciate all of our fans and all of our viewers who were coming every week, but hopefully we'll get even more with a little bit of a looser schedule. So get ready for that this year.
Thank you, brother. Abby, we continue what you were saying, my brother.
No, I was saying that, yeah, we got to hold the Democrats accountable. Now that they're going to have the presidency, the Senate, and the Congress. What I'm saying? That means they're going to be able to make a lot of moves, no more excuses. And again, with that power comes a lot of corruption too. So we got to hold them accountable. Just like Max said, it doesn't matter blue, red. Politician is a politician. And, as much as the insurrection and the rioting and all that, I know we're going to get into that as far as all that on the Capitol. You know what? It wasn't a good thing, but it shows that there is a large amount of people who are unhappy with our government. So, America has never seen nothing really like that, right? They've never seen the people get to the point where they're so frustrated for whatever reason, to the point where they're going to go and not just hear let their voices be heard, but let their power be seen. So, whether you're for it or against it, I mean, anyone with a right mind would say they're against it, but you can see that the people do have enough power to get things done. So, again, that's not saying violence is good. What I'm trying to say is these politicians need to know that the American people want to see the right thing get done, and we will let our voices be heard if we don't see what we think is right. So, all right, I look at the silver lining and all that.
I appreciate that. So we're gonna jump right in. Our topic tonight is the tale of two Americas. Last Wednesday, if it wasn't clear before, became abundantly clear for all on national television and things that you're watching that you can't do what white folks do. We've all had different reactions to the insurrection of the Capitol. And so what we know for sure is that white supremacy is protected and respected in America. And even when it's full betrayal in the laws of the land, the inability and unwillingness of authorities to stop those who breached the Capitol last week reminds Black and brown people not to forget their place in this land. And what a way to return back to our podcast realm with something so obvious and apparent. And with that, to kind of set the stage, I'm going to walk you through some things that have happened in this country since the last time we were on a show together. And with that, we're going to start it off with
a little bit of this.
It's the one thing that gets stolen from you that has all of the access to the only way that you're able to get back home.
I just don't think I would randomly attack people is what I'm saying to you. I know you said you could have handled it better, but I just don't think I would randomly attack people in the manner in which you did. What do you think when you look at that video? You're standing there in your leggings and your flip-flops, and it looks like you're just going nuts, for lack of a better word.
No, I'm not letting him walk away with my phone. I don't feel that that is who I am as a person. I don't feel like this one mistake does define me, but I do sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, apologize that if I made the son feel as if I assaulted him, or if I hurt his feelings, or the father's feelings.
I don't believe one mistake defines anybody, but I think when I look at that video, you did more than just accuse him. The video seems to show that you physically attacked this young boy. You do see that too, right?
So I'm gonna stop it right there. Abby, you up for Abby, you up first. You at first. So what's your opinion on that? On your perspective on this incident?
My opinion is she needs to play linebacker. The way she tackled that man, she straight tackled him, man, straight up, man. This, listen, it's crazy because she did not take any accountability. If you watch the whole, the whole thing, she was basically, when she was started getting, the harder questions thrown at her, she basically just blacked out and
Gail, stop. Gail, stop. Gail, stop.
It just goes to show, that's definitely how, a lot of people feel. They could just do whatever they want, but she is being charged, so the law is gonna, she's gonna have to get an attorney and answer to those charges. I do find it, that's the thing. Like, she don't even know the man's name. You know what I'm saying? At that point, I would have did my homework. I would have got the young man's name. I would have got the guy's name. I would be like, look, Mr. So-and-so, it was a bad day. You know what I'm saying? I apologize with his name. I don't know his name, but she should, not just the boy or whatever term she used for him.
Yeah, at least for the interview.
Yeah, for the interview. Her lawyer should.
But supposedly the lawyer was trying to tell her to do. Told her to take
the lawyer was.
They said they had to edit the video because her lawyer was trying to tell her something, and she kept stopping the lawyer, and she went on her own accord to say what she wanted to say. So the lawyer was trying to help her, and it just did not happen.
She played herself. But again, man, you know what? You can't control people, man. I'm glad the way the man handled his business. We need to handle our business a lot more like that. Take a stand to these type of situations and let people know that it's not going to be accepted anymore.
And I feel like that's when you need to learn Tai Chi, because if he had known that when she came, he would have gave her a little dip. She would have fell and tumbled over, and then she would have missed. You know what I mean? He would have moved the energy, Max. You know what I'm saying? So. We gotta teach these kids.
I would have preferred Steven to
we gotta teach these kids how to do this. Yeah, move that energy. When they got a lot of energy, you know what I mean. When they go low,
you go high.
we shift the energy. That's what happens. When they go low, we shift energies. That's what we do.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I think that she's obviously she's just gone, and I think that she still doesn't get it to this day. I think there was two interviews, one interview, but the way they cut it, and the second part came out, and it just still, she has any remorse to that situation. The 14-year-old kid was scared for it. It's crazy, man.
You got to segue a little bit. So you were talking about the Tale of Two Americas, and then you showed a clip of the young lady. So how are you correlating that with the Tale of Two Americas?
Well, you do know damn well if a black man went up on a white woman like that and saying that you accused something, like you're lying. That's what would have happened. That's exactly what would have happened right in that hotel. And that hotel obviously connected some type of situation for them, the father and the son, to be in that situation and not handle that appropriately. And I believe Arlo is going through a couple protests for their hotel in New York City. And such, but I think there's an opportunity, right, for a lesson there, because there is an opportunity for the reason why that to happen, to allow somebody to kind of just come out there, get off a freaking Uber, blame somebody that had their phone, and you can tell me that everybody that walked by didn't have an iPhone, so you just happen to stop those folks and that 14-year-old kid because that's somebody you think advantage of.
Asked her too. She's like, "So why'd you stop him?" And she was like, "Well, I don't think it was racist." So
yes.
Did you stop anyone else?
Yeah, because she was like, I was just looking at who was in the area. She was like, "Did you stop anyone else?"
Yeah.
Well,
stop it, Dale. Stop asking questions.
Yeah.
The tale of two Americas, man. You know what? They gave her the benefit of the doubt, man. They basically were like, yeah, you may have stole her. You may have stole this young lady's phone, and can you show it to her? No,
Right.
I can't
And
show it
and,
to
and
her.
based on her history, she's a drunk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
She's been drunk 4 times since that incident.
Well,
Her and her mom, right?
Listen, think about this though. Here's the thing that no one's talking about, or they're not talking enough about it. She ain't white. That's a Latina, man.
Nah. Yeah.
No,
So
she's
what
Puerto
that
Rican. She
shows
said.
you- what that shows you that
South Florida.
it ain't just about being white versus black. Oh, I'm white. So the mindset of white supremacy is pervasive. It's insidious. It'll even affect a brother who don't even realize he's yelling Black Lives Matter sucks, or Black, death to Black Lives Matter, whatever that one brother with the messed up fade was. Everyone saw on IG. You know, that white supremacy mindset is insidious because it really, especially, you know, America is a tale, if nothing else, a bunch of different ethnicities and cultures, and no one wants to be last place. And blacks are always put in that last place genre, even though we're not, right? We built this shit. But anyway, my whole point of saying that is her being non-black, if you will, or not black enough, because Boricua are black. Any Puerto Rican know damn straight they black. Cubans too. Ooh, did I say it? Yeah. But anyway, that shows you how little she even had reflection of the fact that she was being absolutely racist. She was profiling that young man because he was black. His hair was a certain texture. He was walking with a certain swagger. He might have looked like a kid that she knew from high school, and she made a determination in her head, that's the one who stole it from me. And that's absolutely racism. That's absolutely prejudice. And that comes from living in a society where folk of color, more melanated, are always perceived as the threat. You know, word to that protest we saw. Can you dig it? Are you kidding me? That, and I don't care what, because I've made a comment that, hey, people are getting upset and they're getting unruly, and hey, I can respect and appreciate a protest mindset, but those people went with weapons. They went with 100% determination to go and cause bodily injury and harm. I would say most of the Black Lives Matter, or most of the protests that were basically geared around social injustice and police brutality, you had little to no damage done. It was very anecdotal. Any situations where that there was some violence on the part of those groups. These people came ready to kill, and sadly, 4 of them died, and they even killed an officer. What happened to Blue Lives Matter, right? This is supposed to be the people of law and order. If you saw the video, you saw that one white boy screaming as he's getting pushed, and then one of them actually put the little helmet down
on her face.
Yeah. And it's so twisted in my head. I'm like, look, you love him because he's a cop, but you crushing him because he's a cop.
Well, Max. What I want to do is I want you to touch on this topic right now. It is right here. I want you to touch on this. And we're gonna go here.
Let's go. Hey, let's go.
What's going on?
Let's go. Hey, let's go.
Okay.
Excuse us, ladies and gentlemen. We're having technical difficulties.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to give a special shout out to Daniel Black. This is Kobla's brother that wrote this piece about the Capitol attack regarding white supremacy, plain and simple. So definitely shout out on that. So make sure you could check that out on CNN.com.
Let's go. Hey, let's go. Who's out? Pull them this way. Pull them.
get us pulled, brother. Probably want to cut that CNN footage.
Yep. So Max, I want you to go ahead and touch on that, brother.
So, you know,
what was your feeling when you saw that?
What I think anybody's feeling is with any sense in their head. What the hell are they doing? What's going on? What good is going to come of this? Because once again, this is not the way you protest your angst with the fact that your guy lost. See, this is the problem. You know, every media outlet and every Republican congressman is saying, oh, you don't impeach him, you're going to upset the people. You see, they're mad already. Listen, they're going to have to get over this shit because this guy couldn't prove after 70 plus cases, not a shred of proof that anything was done fraudulently. The dead people who did voted for Trump. So there's been no proof whatsoever. But because the Republican Party, certain key elements of Congress, along with every media echo chamber from Breitbart to Fox, have been fomenting and getting this portion of our country who maybe they have, genuine angst. A lot of jobs have left their areas. They don't have work like they used to. They see it's harder and harder to live the life that their parents gave them, and they're scared. They see a changing country, and it's not feeling like the America they grew up in. And, to that point, I said, ask a Native American that. End of the day, this country is full of its own faults and its own issues. But what I saw right there, I saw white privilege on full display. I saw people who basically knew there was going to be more of a benefit of a doubt not to kill them on the streets. My God, if that was black people climbing that wall, they would climb a wall faster than any Mexican. You saw it? If that was black people up on that stairs, smashing and grabbing and squeezing, you would have drones dropping whatever on people. You would be watching minorities getting slaughtered on TV.
If that was a black... Go ahead, Cole.
Did you see the clip that had them climbing up the wall with the Mario brothers?
We all saw that.
Spit it.
That's not funny though.
Listen, the fact. Look, well, first off, let's get it very straight. Ain't no way. Listen, if that was a black American cause that the people were there for, they wouldn't have got 100 yards within the Capitol.
Absolutely not.
Okay, if that was a black cause, if that was a Black Lives Matter, if that was the Million Man March, if that was any of the things where black people go and protest, you would not. There would be no way in hell.
Well, a good way to challenge that is to see how much security. And I don't know, because the pictures that we see with MLK when they had that speech. What was security like then? Because there were way more people than there were now. But I don't know what the security was like, because you don't see that in the photos. You don't see any security in the photos.
You don't see it.
And now it's a peaceful protest. So I'd love to know how many, if they were on guard with National Guard and all that. Probably not because of the propaganda of it being a peaceful protest.
And crowds react. The mob mentality is different, right? So if you have majority of the people there for a reason that is just, and you have proper leaders and community organizers in the proper align with the proper elements and the proper materials, then you can make sure that you can control a crowd, because crowds, they behave with the crowd. That's just how it is. So it only takes a couple idiots in a crowd to get the whole crowd to go one way. So and the idiot on that day just happened to be the president of the United States. Let's talk about it, right? He's the one that got them to that level. But again, man, the Capitol Police, they were not ready for that, man. And me personally, I think that's their problem. They did that because they should have been ready. They should have been ready. You had 3 weeks to a month of monitoring, And monitoring, come on, B, let's talk about it, man. The government monitors these sites, man. They don't act like they don't monitor. They monitor these sites, man. They know who the players are. They got them on the chalkboard, just like Kobla got his business plans up on the chalkboard. They know your name. They know where you're at. They know your last post. They know who you're talking to. They're linked to your social media, and they might be infiltrated your organization. So let's talk about it, man. They knew what was going to go down, man.
Well, to touch on that, one of those things that I find interesting is how they haven't labeled the. I think they might have just done it, but some of these organizations they're not labeling as terrorist organizations, and I think the KKK is not listed as a terrorist organization, but I'll have to double check. But it's a couple of those groups that most certainly, based on if we just go off of what you've done, your body of work, you should probably be a terrorist organization. But unfortunately, due to the factors that we're speaking about, that might not be the case. And those individuals, whenever you cause terror, you're coming somewhere. The fact that this is not really the first time that we've seen individuals go to other capitals when they couldn't get a haircut with armed weapons, screaming at police officers, and nothing really happened. Yeah, that wouldn't have happened with us either. You know what I mean? Supposedly that wouldn't have happened, based on what we saw.
Well, think about it. That'll get your Second Amendment crowd upset. That'll get bans going on. I promise you, as a result of that Capitol insurrection, we're going to see weapons bans getting started by the Democrats. Some of you may agree with that.
It's a rapperoni, Max.
It's a rap. You're going to see.
No, I don't think it's a rap. I think that's too polarizing. I think, first of all, you're not allowed to have weapons. You can't go into the Capitol or any of those.
Yet they did
offices with a weapon. So the fact that they said a few people had weapons, that's a federal charge. They're going to jail, guaranteed. You can't walk in there with weapons.
And they got facial recognition. Every single one of them.
Yeah. I remember I was telling somebody. I remember going to inauguration, so I went to both of them. And I remember I had a camera and I was looking up at one of the buildings. I'm from DC, so I'm looking at the building. I'm like, there's a dude up there and he looks like he might be a sniper. And I was like, there's another one over there. I was like, there's another one over there. And I remember looking up with my phone, and then he turned and looked at me and I said, hell no.
Do y'all remember on Obama's inauguration, the first one?
Yeah.
They did something with technology that blew my mind. And every now and then they'll do it. They'll show you what they got, and then they'll never show you again. And what they did was they took all the images from the cameras that people took.
That was
in the area. Yep. And they used all those images and synced it into a 360-degree picture of everything there, bro. That basically means that they could look at anything they wanted within anywhere that a picture was taken on that day. And they were that. You imagine the technology of that, bro?
Do you know that they got? So if we jumping off that, you remember with one movie? I can't remember what it was. Max, you could probably tell me. The movie where the dude would shoot the guy and then the bullet would disappear, like it would disintegrate into the person, and they couldn't trace it. Did you ever remember? I can't remember what movie. It was when we were a little bit younger.
Selleck with the robots.
It's something where you could shoot it, it would put a hole, and then it'd be like, what did he get shot with? And there was no trace. You know that's real?
Yeah, that's real. It's called ice.
Yeah, shot with icicles.
It's called ice. No, but there's supposedly via popular mechanics, there is something that can actually do that. But my point being is, I think you're valid. Similar to space and a lot of the technologies that we have currently now, they had them for 20 years. Then we get them 20 years later. You know what I mean? Velcro, everything else. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you something, right? There's only one reason why them folks did not get inside the chambers when the people were in there. You want to know?
I can tell you why.
Because she got shot.
That one girl caught a bullet.
One shot to the neck made everybody fall back. Now, listen.
I was going to say because everybody had jeans on.
No, listen.
Everybody had jeans on.
That shot, you would have heard it on the outside if there were black folks, and that would have made everyone. And matter of fact, bro, let me tell y'all. Listen, man, the defense budget they spent, that I can guarantee you that bullet. That Capitol building has some serious arsenal inside of it, bro.
What now? So
it's not. Look, it's not just an office building.
Yeah, but
okay?
Here's the thing. We can't speculate. What we do know is Secret Service. When Secret Service pulls out, That's a problem. Typically, Secret Service does not pull. John knows because he's been in DC. Secret Service don't never pull out.
Right.
When Secret Service pulls out, there's a problem. They're not going to miss. They are not going to miss. So when I saw, because I didn't see, I was just looking on something. Somebody sent me the video of Secret Service with the guns out at the door. I was like, the moment anybody sticks it, they're gonna pop you and you're gonna go down. Like they train for that. Like, there's no like guessing. They're gonna hit you. You know what I mean? And so could it have been escalated to a higher level? Possibly, but they know that they would have taken a lot of people out. And I think that was a fear. They didn't want to have to take
they had to take the officer out. Kobla, they had to put the officer who shot that bullet. He's on administrative leave right now, which is understandable. I guess they're doing an investigation. But at the same time, if they would have shot some Black Lives Matter, they don't been on administrative leave. They'll get to work tomorrow. No. All these officers, they may get off, but all these officers, when they shoot somebody, they go on. They get suspended during the investigation. They get a week off with pay. But my point is. See, what happened there when that lady got shot, and rest her soul, I don't wish any ill on anybody, but she made a really bad choice of friends and what she was going to do on that day. And, I wish her family the best. But the thing with a lot of these militia groups and whatnot, they don't understand. As a child of immigrants, let me tell you something, who's been to my motherland, and those of you as well, or those watching about that history, if you've seen what the U.S. military does in other countries, if you've been privy to see the iron foot and fist of the U.S. military, you'll understand very quickly, my Americans who have never traveled abroad, that ain't the fight you want. To Dimitri's point, they rushed basically a government installation. That's like rushing a military base.
And so I agree with you. I think that was out of control. They knew out of control because
they let it happen.
Because if they did, they was gonna pop off a lot of people. And they made a decision not to do it.
And the thing is, very soon that decision is going to be made less and less because I'm sorry, and I hate to say I don't want to be the forebearer, but I said it last year to show these motherfuckers ain't going away. It ain't all my white brothers and sisters. Otherwise, Biden wouldn't have got elected president. I love my white folk that made a good decision, even though we'll see later. But some of these folk, they in it to lose. They think they're in it to win it.
So I want to go ahead and do this. So the roasted hour is the time when we talk about people, but we're gonna go straight to the top, and we're gonna share this. Come on. Well, either way, we don't gotta listen to it. But today, number 45 got impeached for the second time. And in that process of that happening, in the Senate, I think the House is next. In this situation, this happens, he will not be able to run for presidency again, because he said he was going to do it. This will eliminate that option. And to be honest with you, the things that I've seen in the last couple of weeks, things before the last 4 years, you can't. Trump is the person to just light that match, right? It's the people that's going to respond to this stuff, and it has to be within. So Taylor to America's point is that this country is at a crossroads right now, right? Because people ain't scared no more. People getting their guns and they're gonna protect themselves, and that's what's going to happen. Because it crossed that line, something's going to happen, and the increase of purchases of firearms to utilizing the Second Amendment, people have increased to the point where there is no bullets left, there's no guns left. Depending on who you can find one, right? We're at a point right now where this country is at a point of crossroads, from people being involved with conversations about racism. Some are being authentic, some are not. But at the same time, we have to have the conversation, right? Like where do you see, Kobla? Where do you see this country going? And Biden wins. So, okay, great. The Democrats got the Senate. Great. What's next? What we going to do now, brother?
Well, it's the same conversations we were having before. I think generally and this should be a dialogue interposed of questions, but, the country has to heal from its past trauma, and you know what I mean? And until it does so, and also admits what was done. When you admit the thing that was done, you heal from the process, and then you begin to move on. You know, as the guns thing, you know, we've had that debate amongst one another. You know, I've heard people say, oh, they're buying guns. And I'm like, well, statistically, you know, I had this discussion with a few people. I was like, statistically, the likelihood of you using it is very minimal. So why you get it? And people are like, well, I just want it just in case. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But the thing is, when we say the tale of two Americas, you know, even when you mention it, I'm like, nah, it's just the tale of America. It's been like that. And this is not new. You know what I mean? This insurrection was to go back to the Boston Tea Party or a reason that somebody didn't want to believe something. It happened. It just hasn't happened in our lifetime. But it has most certainly happened before. And the thing is, you know, you had someone who stoked that fear that said, oh, we need to defend the rights of you, but you lost. You know what I mean? If the 3 people vote, 2 people voted for Max and 1 person voted for me, I can't be like, well, I'm gonna whoop Max's ass now. Like, well, wait, I got more votes than you did. Didn't we agree that there's a majority? Yeah, we agreed, but he stole it. How'd he steal it? He stole one of them votes. Can you prove it? No. What you mean you can't prove it? He stole it. Well, why? Dimitri said so. What you mean Dimitri said so? Dimitri said he stole it. I believe Dimitri, so he stole that, and I got something to say about it. Now I got a pistol. Well, what you gonna do with it? I don't know. I'm gonna rush somebody. When you start to really break that down and like that, you're like, this sounds like a dumb story. But it's a real story. But my point being is like anybody who feels disenfranchised, no matter whether it's valid or invalid, will always do something. And it escalates once a need is unmet. And the unmet need is validation. So you got all these angry white men who stormed the Capitol. You know, I was joking around the other day. I said, if they was getting action at home, we wouldn't have all this beef. They're not getting no action. So not even they pissed off. They got to get that anger out somewhere. You know what I mean? Yeah. And somebody said, but their wives were with them. I was like, yeah, but that don't mean you're getting action. That just means she went with you to the Capitol. That don't mean you're getting no action. You know what I'm saying? But another point somebody made is like unhappy people do unhappy things.
Absolutely.
And I was like, yeah, that's valid. You know what I mean? How do you get to the point where you're like, you going up there bare shirt with a tattoo and a hat with a Viking claw on the head? You got some issues at the house that somebody else needs to deal with. And so getting to the core of why these things are happening, I think it's more important than thinking like, oh, it's a seesaw thing and it's very surface. Like there's a core and there's a major bit of healing that needs to be done at the core of America. And until we really get at the core of what that is, these things will continue to happen. But these individuals that went up to the Capitol, like I said, originally being from DC, man, they just need to make sure that they go to jail. And if they go to jail and they understand that the consequences are high, they're not going to pop off like that. But if you continue to let somebody olay into
the Capitol,
to the Capitol, you know what I mean? Because you're just like, oh, it's too many of them. We're just going to let this go. Then people will continue to do those things until they see stuff like, oh, y'all got 20,000 National Guards sitting in the lobby. Right. Yeah, hey, go that way. We're not going that way. Go that way.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean?
So that's you know what? That's the question is this, right? How did the powers that be allow this to happen? That's the question we need to be asking, because they had the resources to stop it immediately. They had the resources. They didn't use it. There's plenty of stuff on the record where they asked them, you need the National Guard, and the chief of police was like, nah, we don't need them. We got it under control.
And and they talked about that supposedly the National Guard they were going to potentially use them, but you know they asked. The problem is we don't know what the true story is.
Well, that's the problem.
The lack of transparency.
There's the problem. But we know this. We know that there was a decision made to use very minimal security compared to the crowd that was going to be there. Guys, come on, man. Look, all those people are not from DC, fam. They know who was coming. Listen, you can't come. The DC knows who's coming to town, dog. This is 9/11 shit. They know what's going down, bro. You're not going to be coming in there with a group of people sitting there 3-4 days at a hotel, getting drunk and acting stupid, talking Trump shit. They got people all throughout DC, all their eyes and ears, bro. They know.
But the other thing is, so they had the little barricades up. The thing is, they had no expectation that the people were going to be that bold.
Nah, see, Beyond, I disagree with you, my brother. The powers of be actually
right. So if Trump's like, supposedly Trump was watching the joint when they asked him for help. Supposedly he was watching TV and engrossed in the television for like 6 hours. You know what I mean? So he was just watching, and they were like, "Hey, we got people are calling you for help," and he's just watching the joint on TV. So he liked it. You know what I mean? He was driven by that.
I'm of the mind state that this United States of America, these United States of America, and the people and the citizens within it are in for a rude awakening. That's my mind state. We are about to see that we are a great nation, but we are not the greatest in the sense where the people are too complicit in how we do things. We forgot what it means to actually care about government. We were so lazy and we didn't care about what was going on. And we're about to see what happens when you just elect any old Joe. We're about to see what happens when the government gets pissed off. We're about to see it. And it's not going to be pretty, bro, because you're going to have a bunch of people, like so-called disenfranchised people, who are armed to the T, and they're about to make hell for Joe Biden. And Joe Biden ain't gonna sit back and play no games with nobody, because he got to handle business. You know what I'm saying? He ain't about to play no games with these people. And he's gonna start. Look, this pandemic ain't going nowhere, bro. It's getting worse. So with that said, he's gonna start mandating some stuff. You think Trump didn't even do nothing, and these people getting mad? Joe Biden ain't gonna do that. He's gonna be a little more stricter with this pandemic stuff to get stuff under control. These people ain't gonna have it. It's not gonna be pretty, man. I hate to say it, but it's not gonna be pretty. I think this is just the beginning of I don't use the word civil war, but I think this is a new birth of the United States. I think the United States is gonna look exceedingly different with every month that passes this year. And by 2024, this nation, in my opinion, is not going to look nothing like what we grew up in.
But that can be for the better or for the worse.
Pretty much.
It could be either way.
So with that, I just want to add something. Like tonight's episode is sponsored by Capital B's Finance at Capital B's Finance on IG. The Financial Experience. Check out at the Financial Experience on IG and ask Shelly.
What you got to do to be a sponsor?
Hold on. Ask Shelly. Continue on. I'm producing, and Capital B's is for you.
Many suckers and not enough time to fuck up all of them with one clip from me 9. To shoot to kill them, say me don't care. I tried to kill but it don't get me nowhere. I just put on me gun in a me suitcase. Pick up me fist, me both of them.
So, with that, Builder Business Bees has been on the show multiple times, and he has provided that support. And he's going to be on the show this season as well. He wants to talk about financial literacy. And to answer your question, Kobla, you got to be a proud fan of Coffee for Your Soul. And if you decide to provide a donation, we will accept it.
I want to know what the donation entails. Does that mean I can get you 2 snack packs with some cookies? Or does it mean
look at his watch? Look at his watch. That's what your donation is.
That's what it is. Hey, fellas, we need to find out what type of promos John getting. I feel like he might be getting. He got new headphones, a new mic.
It's all the same, brother.
We need to start asking questions. He got new lights in the background. He got a new hat. Hey, we got to start asking questions. We don't know these ones. Okay?
But I say this though, and I want to give a special shout out to So it's Happy Founders Day to y'all ladies, and all a million of y'all, because y'all a lot of y'all. So special shout out to Moo out there.
Is that why you got all red on today?
No, it's because I'm wearing a flash, baby. Come on now, brother.
I don't know.
I don't. Hey, man. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Shut up. So anyway, but yeah,
y'all think these Americans, you think these Americans are gonna show up next Wednesday with the National Guard state ready to go? Hell to the no.
No, they're not showing up like that.
We're about to see you. Listen here, player.
But the thing is, so here's the thing: we've seen riots before, and it wasn't during our time, but like the LA riots and things like that, when they dispersed the National Guard to quell stuff down.
That wasn't to attack the government.
No, I got you, but you see how they'll be like, "Oh, National Guard, we got to shut it down." So yeah, this is one of those shut it down moments.
we okay. So a lot of people, I've been seeing a lot of conservative Republicans and whatever they want to call themselves, saying that, oh, Black Lives Matter, you know, they did the same thing. There wasn't. I'm like, look here, bro. Burning down Taco Bell and 7-Eleven and the corner store.
Well, there's two. Yeah,
it's not rushing the United States Capitol in the middle of a government vote.
The other thing about that is someone died at the hands of someone else unjustly. This person lost a vote by the largest margin in the history of the United States, at least the amount of people that voted. Mm-hmm. They lost the popular vote. They lost the electoral vote. And you are storming the Capitol for what reason? There's a distinct difference. Now, not to say that it's justified that anybody burned down a Taco Bell. Well, wait, Taco Bell some trash, so maybe it should have burned Taco Bell.
But Cope, let me hold that.
One less Taco Bell in the hood is A-okay with me, right?
Cope, so hold on. We got a new segment tonight, and we gotta do this right because he deserves it. So 1, 2, 3. Unleash the Maxim. New segment. Yeah.
Max, how you get your eyes to glow like that?
You know, don't worry about that. So when I do voodoo, I get the Listen.
So Max, where you want to go?
I would like to thank John, first of all, for using a picture of a younger Kraken. The beard was a little bit blacker back then. Curls were popping a little bit more. But yeah, you know, I think the release of the Kraken, or the Maxim, if you will, we've been getting here. Where do we go from here as a nation? Here we are. First show, a lot has happened, right? So where do we go? You have a Republican Party that's in disarray. You have a Democratic Party that is in power by default more than, in my opinion, ideas that are being pushed. Once again, most people didn't vote for Joe Biden. They voted against Trump. You have a section of the populace, to Dimitri's point, that think they want revolution, but when they come off the plane and they get handcuffed, they're blubbering because my life is over. What am I going to do? They're going to prison and they're asking for organic meals. Motherfucker, you get a ham and cheese sandwich and water. Mm-hmm. And you're going to sit right next to Lamont right there. He's going to watch you eat it, motherfucker. like in pickles.
He gets sick if he eats organic food. He gets sick if he doesn't get.
You can have my pickles, Lamont. So, you know, what I say is, this isn't over. Where do we go from here? I really need this country, our viewers, talk to people. I said this last year. I'm saying it again. Start talking with people, because we got to get this section of the country. And part of me thinks they're irredeemable. They support. Look at every single one of Donald Trump's most ardent supporters, from Ted Cruz to Lindsey Graham. All of these motherfuckers were saying the worst things about Trump from get-go. He's a racist. He's a bigot. This guy talked about your wife and your father, and you're like, I like Trump. He's a good guy. This guy shit all over your family, son, and you support him. Why? Because they were down with the plan of a populist, racist, nationalist agenda to gin up white xenophobia. Let's talk about it in this country, to the point where people were looking the other way for Muslim bans, to a point where you had politicians talking about how it was like summer camp where when these kids was getting torn away. We still got kids ain't seen their family. It ain't the white man. That's the problem, right? The problem is white supremacy. That's the problem. That mentality. It's so pervasive, it made a Puerto Rican girl tackle a young black boy because she thought he was lesser. It's so pervasive that if you look at pictures of the Capitol, when the Black Lives Matter came in, that shit looked like Star Wars Return of the Jedi with all the stormtroopers standing on the fronts of the Capitol. and this shit looked like a fucking joke. My brother was running up the stairs trying to divert, and he was a hero. You know why? A lot of people don't know. He was diverting them in different ways, trying to get them away from the Capitol, hitting his little stick. All them fucking idiots chasing him. Where do we go from here? You got to have a really look inside white America, you know, because you couldn't have Joe Biden become president if it wasn't for white America, but you wouldn't have this shit happen if it wasn't for white supremacy. Yeah, you got to be on. You got to pick a side now, man. You got to pick a side because it's only going to get worse. Stochastic terrorism is going to continue, and it's not so much the Martian. It's already here. That young boy that killed them 5 people and then 9 people in the Ebenezer Church in South Carolina, he was young. He was what, 17? He wasn't born in the 50s. He wasn't remembering the days of busing. That motherfucker was young playing PlayStation, decided he wanted to kill some black people, wrapped himself in the Confederate flag. That flag was marching in the state capitol, that flag of treason, the flag of traitors to the U.S. Any military person that was there or watching and supports that bullshit, you took an oath to the Constitution of the United States, not an oath to the fucking Confederacy. Fuck that flag of treason. Don't tell me it's Southern pride. That's fucking a flag of slavery, of hatred, of prejudice and discrimination. Get over yourself. Let's get better because we're going to have to live together. We ain't going to build this shit back out of hate and animosity. But come to fucking Jesus, find Allah, go to get Buddha. Whatever you have to do, Bhagat Savida, I don't care. Listen, get it together because we're gonna a house divided cannot stand. Not to be cliche. That's it.
Thank you, brother.
I wanted to just interject real quick and say that these most of these individuals, in my opinion, are just fans of Trump. They don't care about the country, bro. They're fans of Trump. And I'll say that because they literally took down the United States flag and hoisted up the Trump flag. They didn't have American flags. They had Trump flags, majority of them. And that to me is just it's like Hitler. It really is. Like they're putting an individual in front of the whole nation. And that's what the Trump supporters do. It doesn't matter what he does to embarrass the nation, to endanger the nation. He could disrespect the troops. He could disrespect a whole state. He can disrespect any politician. He can disrespect a soldier. He can disrespect his family. He could disrespect your family. And they still support him. I know you guys see these people on social media that some of us are friends with, some of us are not friends with, that never have one thing to say that says, oh, you know what? I don't know about that one, Trump. Like, it don't matter what the man does. Like, come on, man. Wednesday should have been the day where most of y'all was like,
Well, here's the thing.
I don't know about that.
Somebody mentioned this to me before in a line. And they said, and because I always say this, I said, the reason why people don't have issue with Trump is because you do what Trump does. And the reason why so many people have been okay with the things that he's done is because you do those things. And the perfect line that someone gave me is, a family of thieves has an issue with the member who doesn't steal. A family of thieves has an issue with the person who doesn't steal. If you're used to seeing that and that's what you do, you're like, oh, that ain't nothing. The moment somebody's like, hey, that's wrong, you're like, what you mean that's wrong? Like, it's wrong. Like, you can't do that.
Your point is that's the point, because Max was asking, where do we go from here? Where do we go to when the American people, or at least a great percentage of them, have forgotten that this nation doesn't have a leader, in a sense where we don't have a king. We don't have a king, bro. This is not about, they're forgetting of their constitution, this constitution, that America, this patriotism, that, and they're only for Trump.
When it suits you, when it suits you.
Exactly, but nothing they do backs that up. Like, listen, I'm gonna say this last thing, right? So the real people, the real militia cats, the real ones, they weren't there, bro. They weren't there. Those guys are on marching orders for real. They know when the Constitution is really, really, really in trouble, and that's when they're gonna be deployed. They're not. Those guys are straight clowns, bro. Militia niggas don't take the plane to where they're going, man. They driving. They're soldiers. They're not gonna take a commercial airline so you can block these guys. The real people that are can handle business, that actually can go toe to toe with National Guard, because half of them are National Guard. Those guys ain't taking a plane with a Trump flag, bro. Those guys are real deal, and they're out there. They're out there. There's a lot of them out there, and trust me, most of them were not at the Capitol. The people at the Capitol are social media clowns. And they're dangerous. Don't get it twisted. They're dangerous. But, don't let the media make you think that these guys are real militia cats, because they're not, man. These militia cats is real. You know what I'm saying? They're
so
about their business.
I want to. So we're gonna go 5 minutes over just a little bit, because I think it's the first one back and everything like that. But I want you to Avi, I want you to start off first, because you brought up a very good point. What do you want to leave our viewers with our first night back on season 2 of Coffee for Your Soul and the things that's going on, brother?
I want to say stay focused on what you're doing. That affects your immediate circle and your immediate household and your immediate family. Watch the news, but don't get inundated where you're watching it so much where you can't focus on your daily. You know what I'm saying? Just like, it's a lot going on in the world. It's all relevant, but if you really do look around, what's immediately in your presence and the people around you directly are really what influence your life. So start from your household. Start with you, the person you wake up next to, your family members, your neighbors, your city, your state, the nation. That's how you gotta look at things. Because the media, again, it is a business. So they want as much drama as possible. I'm not saying that there's not stuff going on. I'm just saying I'm leaving the viewers with focus on yourself, your goals in your house, and the world will seem a little bit better than what it looks like.
Okay, Kobe, how you feeling? How would you like to leave our guests tonight, our followers tonight?
No, I agree with Dimitri wholeheartedly. I think you do the things that are within your control. You can't move other people, but you can move yourself. And if you focus on other people, that's external, and that's going to be extremely difficult. I can't get Dimitri to wear something out that he doesn't want to wear. It doesn't matter what I do until he makes that choice. He's going to put on whatever hat, whatever shirt, whatever he wants to put on. And I think thinking about that locally is extremely important as well. As much as the media can not dramatize, but put something in your face, and social media can put things in your face that it seems so grand, you got to know that it's just an extremely small piece, and this is an extremely small period of time. In the grand scheme of life, this is very minute. And when you start to put weight on these things and make them bigger than they are, that's when they can seem overwhelming. You get out of control. And then you say, hey, I'm just not going to do anything. I don't know what I'm going to do. You get overwhelmed. And I don't think that that's the best mode, is to go inside, take your time, dissect it. You know what I mean? Take your space, move on your time, and do the things that you see fit to help your family and your community that you directly impact. I think that's a great point that Dimitri makes, and it's valid here, because even though he's like, there's militia out here, there is, but there's also 330 million people in the United States. So what percentage is actually militiamen? It's probably a small percentage, but when you don't see these people and you see things on television, you can be like, oh, it's about to be a war, and then you go in to get a gun, and then you don't know how to shoot, and then you could do some drama, and something good or bad can happen with that. And I don't think that's the place that we want to walk to. The place we want to walk to is, let's fix this. Let's make sure this doesn't happen again. Let's make sure your kids and Max's kids and me and Dimitri's future kids don't have to look at this being like, these people are idiots. So, that's all I got.
All right. Maxim, what did you like to leave the people with tonight, brother?
Situational awareness. Be conscious of your location. Look around. Make sure you close your garage door. Don't just leave it open. I'm telling you. Be aware. You see people looking squirrely or acting squirrely, don't act on it, but keep your eyes open, because the FBI, they determined that the number one threat in America in terms of terrorism is it's not the Muslims, it's not people from the hood. It's white, right wing, out of control maniacs, like the Boogaloo Boys killing cops, like the Proud Boys knocking people out. Someone throws a bottle at you, I get you, you can fight back, but they go in with the need to do animosity. Yeah, you know what? I hope you don't need one, but in a world of wolves, you better have a sword, not just a pen. Go take some classes. You know, if you're interested in firearm safety, we've done shows on it. To Kobla's point, yeah, don't be a fool with a gun. Go to the range, take some classes. Most ranges offer that. You know, take a tactical class, so you're not just shooting at a target down the lane, but you're learning how to be comfortable using your firearm. I hope you never have to, but I tell you what, you know, raising young children in this society, I'm not gonna fall back to someone putting my children in danger or people I love in danger or myself. I hope that's not what you want to do. I hope as a true American, you see me as your brother and as your fellow countrymen, but there are many of those who do not. Some of them are in positions of power. Some of them are positions of police power, military power. But, you know, the problem is there's going to be no civil war again, no sedition. Why? Because all the states that make money for this country are not about this crazy right-wing lunacy, sedition, breakaway from the government. You know, you in Kentucky, you in Nebraska, you in, you know, Louisiana, most of your state is being subsidized by federal funds coming from California, New York, Illinois, larger states that have higher populations. So you want to talk that Civil War mess, y'all going to be a poor-ass country that's not aligned with, you know, the states like California. It's a very democratic bastion. What, fifth largest economy on planet Earth? Yeah, you're going to have some problems with your little Civil War and breaking away from America when y'all can't run your government because y'all ain't got money, because y'all ain't making nothing in Nebraska or in Kentucky or wherever. So, you know, none of them's going to stop the time. Protect your neck, do it well, and yeah, man, try to love your neighbor. Maybe he'll love you back.
You know, so just to help close out real quick, you know, Coffee for Your Souls is a podcast for us to have these conversations, these tough conversations, crucial conversations between the three brothers here on the panel with me, our friends and family members, and people that are within our circle, and even more. And we bring people in together that are in situations that probably would never meet other people if it wasn't for this show. Coffee for Your Soul is going to be having some amazing topics. This upcoming year, we changed our to our bi-weekly format. We got some really cool things coming home that's going to happen very, very soon, and some amazing guests that are coming. Be prepared. Come with your questions. We want to see the input. We want to see everything come up there and be involved. We want to make sure that we understand what's going on, and we always want to be ahead of the game. To Max, I love you. Kobe, I love you. Avi, I love you. Tonight, Coffee for Your Soul, everybody. So peace up. And we're going to close it out for the night. Thank you. And make sure you listen to this outro song. Listen to the words. Listen to the words. Good night.